When Dwayne Johnson appeared on the famous talk show, nobody could have predicted that the night would be filled with so much tension. The host of the show was known for his sharp tongue and provocative style. That night was no exception. Right at the beginning of the interview, the host turned to Dwayne with a smug smile and spoke in a mocking tone. "Dwayne, you've been one of Hollywood's highest-paid actors for years. But let's face it, it's all because of your muscles, right? I mean, do you really have any acting talent?" Dwayne Johnson was a name loved by millions. He was known not only for his muscular physique, but also for his intelligence and charisma. However, that night, on the live broadcast, he was unexpectedly going to be backed into a corner. The host was determined to push boundaries in order to boost the show's ratings. The camera zooms in on Dwayne Johnson as he takes his seat on the talk show set, his massive frame effortlessly commanding attention. The audience erupts into applause, but the host, an infamous provocateur, known for pushing guests to their limits, wears a smirk that suggests he's more interested in spectacle than sincerity. "Ladies and gentlemen, The Rock himself." The host announces, his voice dripping with a mix of excitement and something more insidious. "Dwayne, I gotta ask, ever get tired of pretending to be the toughest guy in the room?" A murmur ripples through the audience. Dwayne's smile never wavers, but there's a flicker in his eyes. He knows exactly what's happening. He leans forward slightly, resting his forearms on his knees, exuding the kind of presence that makes even silence feel like a statement. "Pretending?" He echoes, his tone light, almost amused. "I don't know, man. You tell me." The host chuckles, leaning back in his chair. "Come on, Dwayne. We all know Hollywood is about illusion. Maybe you're not as tough as people think. Maybe it's all smoke and mirrors." The audience gasps. They sense the challenge. This is no ordinary interview. This is a game. And the host just made his move. Dwayne simply tilts his head, considering his words. The tension in the room thickens. "You know," Dwayne says, his voice steady, "there's an old saying in wrestling. The loudest guy in the room is usually the weakest. And right now, you're making a lot of noise." The crowd erupts. Some cheer, some laugh. The host's smirk falters for just a second before he recovers. He was hoping to rattle Dwayne, to get under his skin. Instead, he just got checked. But he's not done. "Oh, I see," the host continues, waving a dismissive hand. "You're giving me the tough guy routine. That's cute. But let's be real, Dwayne. If you weren't built like a brick wall, you wouldn't have this career. You think people watch your movies for your acting skills?" This time, the audience murmurs with uncertainty. The host has crossed a line, and he knows it. He wants a reaction. He wants to strip away the polished, charismatic persona and expose something raw. Dwayne takes a slow breath, his expression unreadable. He leans back in his chair, as if completely unfazed, and then he smiles. A slow, deliberate, knowing smile. "That's an interesting take," he says smoothly. "But let me ask you something. If I wasn't good at what I do, would we even be having this conversation? If people didn't believe in me, would I still be here, selling out arenas, headlining billion-dollar movies, and inspiring millions around the world? Or," he pauses, letting the silence stretch, "or is this just your way of trying to make yourself feel a little bit taller?" The audience explodes. Laughter, applause, cheers. Dwayne has just turned the entire energy of the room against the host. The host shifts uncomfortably in his seat. He wanted fireworks, but now he's caught in his own trap. Dwayne, without ever raising his voice or breaking his composure, just flipped the script on him. But the night isn't over yet. The real fireworks are still to come. The host grins, masking the unease creeping beneath his calculated exterior. He's not a man accustomed to losing control, but something in Dwayne's calm response is unnerving him. This isn't the vulnerable celebrity he expected. And now, more than ever, He's determined to get the reaction he wants no matter the cost. Well. The host leans forward, eyes gleaming with renewed intent. I see you like to play it cool, Dwayne. But here's the thing, no one's perfect, right? You've built this persona, this larger-than-life image. But what happens when the mask slips? When The Rock becomes just Dwayne? You ever think about that? There's a shift in the air. The audience leans in, anticipating the next move in this verbal sparring match. The host has expertly pivoted the conversation, tapping into something deeper now. The room feels tighter, as if everyone is waiting for Dwayne's response to peel back the layers of his public image. Dwayne doesn't flinch. His eyes narrow slightly, but there's no sign of weakness. He shifts in his seat, but only enough to make his presence felt, to remind the room that no matter how sharp the host's barbs, Dwayne is in control. You know, he says slowly, his voice low and steady. I get it. You're trying to find a chink in the armor. The thing is, I'm not hiding anything. What you see is what you get. I've been in the spotlight for decades, and I'm still standing here. Not many people can say that. The host smirks, as if Dwayne's words are precisely the confirmation he needed. He's got him. Or so he thinks. Standing here, huh? For now, yeah. But even the biggest stars fall eventually. Maybe the question isn't if you'll fall, but when. The host presses, leaning in closer. And when that time comes, where does Dwayne Johnson go? Who are you when the cameras stop rolling? When the crowd stop cheering? Dwayne's jaw tightens imperceptibly, but he remains unshaken. The air around them is thick with tension now, and it feels like the entire audience is holding its breath. The host's tone has taken on a sharper edge. He's digging deeper, aiming for something personal. Something that might finally crack the foundation Dwayne has built. Dwayne leans forward, his posture sharp and deliberate, and his voice drops even further, becoming almost a whisper, though it commands attention with every word. You want to know who I am when the cameras stop rolling? I'm the same person. I've always been the same person. I've been on both sides of this game, wrestling rings and Hollywood stages. I've seen it all. But you? You hide behind these questions, hoping to stir up something you can't handle, because deep down, you know the truth. People like me don't fade away. We evolve. And you can't understand that. The host's smirk falters, but he's quick to recover. The tension in the room is palpable, but now, something darker begins to flicker behind his eyes. His next words come out in a clipped tone, the playful mockery replaced by something colder, more calculated. You think you're untouchable? You think you've got this all figured out? Well, let me tell you, Dwayne. His voice grows quieter, but the menace in it sharpens like a blade. I know things about you, things that would change everything. You wouldn't be sitting here if people knew the truth. Not about The Rock, not about Dwayne Johnson. You're not as untouchable as you think. The room goes dead silent. Every pair of eyes is on Dwayne now, waiting for his reaction. The host's words linger in the air, heavy with implication. For a moment, Dwayne's face is unreadable. The slightest twitch of his eyebrow, the only sign that he's even processing the threat. He straightens up, his expression hardening, but there's a coldness to it now. The smile he had earlier is gone, replaced by something much more dangerous, an unspoken promise of retribution. For the first time, the audience feels the shift in the energy. This is no longer just a talk show. This is something far more personal. You don't know anything, Dwayne says quietly, his voice a controlled fury. His eyes lock with the host's, and there's a fire burning behind them, something raw and primal. You think you can scare me with your little game. You have no idea who you're dealing with. The host's face pales slightly. He's underestimated Dwayne. He thought he could break him, expose him, humiliate him. But now, he realizes he's just stepped into something far darker than he expected. The lights above flicker, and the audience grows tense. something feels off. The show has taken a sinister turn, and it's no longer clear where the boundaries of entertainment end and real danger begin. But the host isn't finished yet. With a calculated laugh, he leans back in his chair, trying to regain his confidence. "Well then, show me, Dwayne. Show me what you've got." And with those words, the atmosphere in the room shifts again, the air electric with a palpable tension. Everyone can feel it now. The line between entertainment and reality has blurred, and neither Dwayne nor the host knows where this ride will end. Dwayne Johnson took a deep breath. Everyone in the room was eagerly waiting to see what he would say, how he would respond. The tension and silence in the air felt like a bowstring pulled taut, waiting for the next move. Dwayne stared into the host's eyes without blinking, determined to turn the tables and take control of the situation. "You know," Dwayne said slowly, his voice now calm yet firm, "we've come a really interesting way. I faced a lot of challenges in my life, and no one understands that. No one could have predicted that I'd get this far. But contrary to what you've said, everything was much harder than you think." Dwayne paused for a moment, taking a deep breath and looking out at the crowd. It was as if he was trying to look into each person's soul, wanting to share the truth from within. As he spoke, memories of his past, the struggles and setbacks rose to the surface, blending with the tension in the room. Those who know me know this, but let me tell you anyway. In the beginning, I literally had nothing. One set of clothes, not a dime in my pocket. I dropped out of college and got into professional wrestling because I had no other choice. But no one told me that success would be easy. Every step of the way, people underestimated me. They only saw me as the big guy, but inside, there was so much more. For a long time, I didn't just fight with physical strength. I fought with my imagination and determination. Dwayne drifted into memories of painful losses in the wrestling ring, difficult beginnings in Hollywood, failed projects, and the constant skepticism from audiences. Each of those moments became obstacles, but every obstacle made him stronger. His eyes sparkled with a hint of a smile. "Being strong," he said slowly, "isn't just about muscles. Strength is about your mind, your spirit, your resilience. But most importantly, it's about the belief inside you. If you have a goal, no matter how tough it gets, you can get there somehow. But remember this, there will always be people trying to imitate you, looking for your weaknesses. They'll set traps to bring you down. And yes, sometimes they won't succeed." The air in the room shifted. What Dwayne had said had truly captivated the audience. The tension now was not only on the host, but also on the viewers. The host, this time, lowered his head, avoiding Dwayne's gaze. But Dwayne, undeterred, continued. "Look, everything might seem simple, but would you believe me if I told you that behind Hollywood, the glitz of TV and movie sets, I went through some really tough times? Even brief success wasn't enough for me. I worked for years, stayed up countless nights, but every time I got back up. Not just because of my strength, but because of my determination and my passion." Dwayne paused, scanning the room. He took a deep breath and continued, his voice now more resolute. "And here's the biggest lesson I'm giving you right now," he said. "Sometimes there will be people who belittle you, humiliate you, and set traps for you. But never forget, the true value of something isn't in how shiny it is. It's in how loyal you are to it. You can't just survive by looking at what others say and focusing on their opinions. You need to find the strength inside yourself." The room was silent. Dwayne's words echoed through the crowd. At that moment, the audience wasn't just listening to a celebrity. They were listening to a real human being. Dwayne had shared a profound piece of advice based on his personal struggles. The host, struggling to find his words, looked uneasy and asked, "But, Dwayne, is it really that simple? Is it really that easy?" Dwayne met his gaze again and replied, Simple? No. But there's one truth here. If you really want something, and if you believe in it, no one can stop you. No one. Disputes, glitz, traps, they're all temporary. But the only thing that remains is your resilience. And then, Dwayne's final words spread throughout the room. Think about who the real winner of this night is. I just wanted to remind you, everything is possible. The atmosphere grew heavier, and all attention was focused on Dwayne. The host, unsure of what to say next, stood there in silence. Dwayne had won not just by speaking, but by knowing exactly what he wanted to convey. At that moment, it was clear who the real winner of the night was, not just on TV, but in life. The tension had turned into a sense of inner peace, as if the crowd had just gone through a lesson in humanity. Dwayne Johnson's words had become more than just a speech. They were a life philosophy. There was a silence so deep in the room, so profound, that it was almost invisible to the naked eye. But it was also the moment when everyone in the room had learned a valuable lesson. They had experienced the entire night, but in the end, everyone was left with the perspective of victory and perseverance. Dwayne Johnson's speech had changed the atmosphere in the room, just like a star lighting up a dark sky. In that moment, everyone felt not just him, but the truth of life and struggle. Now, as the echoes of Dwayne's inspiring words continued, it was time for one final reminder to the viewers. Dwayne turned to the camera and said his final words. We all face challenges in life, but remember, the greatest strength is the ability to get up again when you fall. We can slow down, but we should never stop. Take every step towards your goals with courage, because the true secret to success is believing in yourself and moving forward a little more each day. On the screen, Dwayne's words and the atmosphere from that night resonated like a lesson for the viewers. By the end of the night, the host and the audience left the venue, each of them carrying their own reflections on the night. Dwayne's words had impacted everyone who heard them, whether they were there or watching from afar. Yes, we've learned a lot tonight. No matter how big the obstacles are, each of us can be the hero of our own story. Now, it's your turn. Just like in this story, you can find the courage to overcome the obstacles in your life. Draw strength from Dwayne's words, believe in yourself, and never give up. Now, go ahead, share what you learned from this video in the comments below. I'm so eager to hear from all of you and learn your thoughts. If you want to hear more inspiring stories like this, don't forget to share this video and make sure to hit the like button. For more stories and inspiration, subscribe to our channel and turn on the notification bell so you never miss a new video. Remember, you can write your own success story. Now, take action and never stop.